We played a festival together in Italy, and then we hung out the next morning and had cappuccinos, and then we talked a little bit, and then saw each other again a couple years later at another festival in Los Angeles. And that time when Rob talked to me, he said, hey, you know, if we ever have to replace somebody, we'd like you to play for us. So that time I remembered to have a card with me, so I gave it to him. And then it was another 5, 6 months or 8 months after that. And I was on tour and they were on tour, and just happened to where I was able to get up there and have a go with them, you know, in Larry's living room. And we played 3 or 4 songs, and they all went and huddled up, you know, the 3 old dudes, as I call them. And he came back and he gave me a little Sonic sticker, and he said, okay, you're in the band, that's your contract, you know. He gave me a little sticker. But the other cats, well, Evan Foster is a Pacific Northwest guy. He's on guitar now, and he knows that music as well as anybody. He's studied it and understands and respects the legendary Larry Paripa, you know, who did all the guitar work, and so he's a natural for that because he's from there and he studied that music. And Jake on keyboards, he's also studied Sonics forever. He sat in with us a few times over the years. He's had bands like he had the Bomboras and the Fuzztones and Lords of Altamont, and he's kind of like a newer version of Sonics, is what I think. So he's a perfect fit. And then Don Wilhelm, who's back on bass right now, he was the first bass player that was in the band when they got back together in '07.
I was flying a business jet, and my job was to pick up Bruce and Patty and fly them out to West Palm Beach. And it was a night flight, it was across the country. We were prohibited from having conversations because we flew people, very influential people, flew Sting and flew people like that, and we weren't supposed to talk to them, Tiger Woods, and I just happened to have Bruce that night. Bruce and the E Street Band had done a big show in Seattle, and it got back to me that during his show, he said, now I'm going to do a song by the Sonics, and I'm not talking about the basketball team. And he did have Love Will Travel, which was our song. Well, about halfway across the country, I got out of the cockpit and went back to the lab, which was in the very back of the airplane, and Bruce was sitting right next to the door. So I came out of the lab and I thought, oh, I got to do this. So I said, Bruce, I'm glad I just had a second to chat with you, because you did a favor for me and some friends of mine. I wanted to thank you for it. And he said, oh, what's that? And I said, well, I'm Rob Lind, a sax player in the Sonics, and that's as far as I got. He said, holy crap, what are you doing here? Sit down right here and let's talk music. So I sat down and started talking to Bruce. Meanwhile, my seat up in the cockpit was empty. The other pilot was up there. So I had the flight attendant come back and I said, hey, look, go up and sit in my seat, because I'm going to sit here and talk music to Mr. Springsteen as long as he wants to talk. So I did that, and very nice, wonderful, down-to-earth guy, one of the nicest people I've met in the business.